Hi, in this video, we are going to show you how to create a web server using NextCloud Web Server. In this project, we are going to make a basic web application on web server, MySQL server, and firewall server using 3 CentOS 8 virtual machine architecture. By the end of this tutorial guide, you will be able to set up your own server using NextCloud server.
In this video, I will show you how to set up the firewall for net and port forwarding. The first step is to check whether the firewall is currently running. In this case, the firewall is already running. The next step is to get the network interface name for the external network using IP link. In this case, it is ENP0S3. Using the network interface name, we will change the zone of the interface to a specified zone. In this case, the external zone. Use the same steps as the external interface to assign the other network interface to another zone. In this case, the internal zone. We will then verify the active zones on the selected interfaces. The next step is to enable masquerade on the external zone to allow the other VMs or virtual machines on the internal network to access to the external network. Next, we will add the ports to be forwarded to the external network. In this case, we will port forward both the database and web server's SSH port to allow SSH access from the external network. We will also port forward the HTTP and HTTPS ports for the web server to allow access from the external network. Lastly, we can verify the status of the firewall by executing the command and see the ports that are being forwarded.
My name is Muhammad Faris Reza bin Muhammad Fauzi, and this is my instruction or guideline on how to install MySQL and create database. The first step is on how to install the latest version of the MySQL. It's available to install in CentOS system by using the yum command, which is yum -y install at MySQL. So open the terminal and type the command that the instruction that I have done. First you must be in a super user mode, so su minus password of the root. So type the installing command. It takes a few seconds, so I skip. Okay, the SQL has been installed. So the second step is on to how to start the MySQL and the system boot. So the first command is to start the MySQL service by using the command systemctl start MySQL d. This command is used to start the MySQL service. And the second command is to enable it to automatically start a system boot. But the command is the systemctl enable --- now MySQL d and press enter. Oh sorry, MySQL d. It is to enable it automatically start as a system boot. So to verify the MySQL is running, the command is the systemctl status MySQL d. As you can see that the MySQL server is active running. So after that, the third step is about to secure the MySQL installation. Basically, to complete the installment MySQL by running the security script that carries several security-based operations, such as setting the root password, removing anonymous user, disallow root logging remotely, remove test database, and reload privilege. So the command is to secure the installation is MySQL underscore SQL underscore installation and press enter. And now he give the instruction to about the validate password component. So just type Y and press enter. So the second one is about the difficulty of the password to input. So I choose the lowest. So to 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 enter the password easy, so I recommend choose 0 because it's the lowest difficult. So I press enter. So the password, you can put your password. The password I put in is password, and I re-enter the password again. Okay, it says do you wish to continue? Just press type Y and enter. So another, he asking about the anonymous users, just press Y and enter. Also disallow the root login, just press Y and enter. Same thing, press Y and enter. Same thing, just press Y and enter. All done and has successful. So the last part is to create the database. After the secure the MySQL installation, you can now log in into MySQL shell and start creating a new database and user. So to enter the MySQL, just type MySQL u minus u root minus p and enter. The password is you have done in the installation session. Right now I'm in the database right now. So I create a database. First, to create database, I type create database. Now the name of the database, I put the name is NextCloud and semicolon. So it says okay. The second one is to create the user. So create user. Put the name of the user. I put student at local host. Identify by the password student 123 column and semicolon, enter. Okay, and the third one is grant. So grant all on the name of the database cloud dot star to the name of the user student at localhost semicolon. It says okay. Lastly, it's flush privilege. Okay. Oh, I forgot to put the semicolon. And that is all on how to install the MySQL and create a database in CentOS. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Zain Ikram Osman. So today I'm going to show you a tutorial how to set up a web server for our project. So here, I'm gonna do the web server VM, and my other team members will do firewall VM and database VM. So here is our IP address we are using. So for my web server, I'm going to use 10.2. Okay, first thing first, we have to clone the host, and then we're going to start the server. Then here we have our web server. So what I'm gonna do first on the web server, I'm gonna change the IP address using nm3. First, I'm gonna enter to the super user, enter my password, and run command. And here we can edit a connection. Press enter and choose the ENP0S3 Ethernet port. So here I'm gonna set this to manual show. Enter the IP address like I mentioned. Here are my IP address for the web server. And second, we have to fill in the gateway. And same as the DNS server. Then go click OK, press enter and go back, and then we can set the hostname. This we going to set web server, press OK, and then after we change the IP address, we have to make sure to deactivate and reactivate the connection so that the connections can run with the new IP address. Okay, so the part 1 is done. So after we change the IP address, we're going to check again whether the IP address has changed or not. Just enter the command IP address. So as you can see here, our connection here and the IPv4 address has changed. Next, we're going to install the additional PHP modules that some request side PHP modules are required for NextCloud to function as expected. So we have to enter the following command. So this is all the uh, PHP modules that are required for NextCloud. We have MySQL, XML, zip, curl, and JSON, LDAP, and or cache. Here the requisite PHP modules. So we can press enter so that we can install all these modules and wait until the module installation is done. So after the installation finish, we're going to move to the next step, which is install NextCloud on CentOS 8. So the next steps require to download NextCloud zip file from the NextCloud's official site. So here I'm gonna use the command wget. So I'm gonna use this wget command straight to the website to download the NextCloud. So wait until the download is finished. So after the NextCloud installation is finished, we have to unzip the file that we have been downloaded. Wait until the file is finished, unzip, and then we have to create a directory to store the admin user data. And then we have to modify NextCloud's directory permission so that the Apache users can append data into it. So now the NextCloud successfully installed in my CentOS. Next, we are going to set up Apache service DNF install. Oops, you need to enter the super user. F. Yes. So wait until the Apache service install, and then we have to make sure the web service is enabled and start. We going to use systemctl enable to activate the HTTPD service. And then we have to start again to activate the Apache service. Now we are done, and now we are going to install and setting up a REMI repo. Using REMI repo, you can also install the latest PHP version instead of standard the ship one in the CentOS 8. So the command we need is to install. We go to the website So this command will install the REMI repository configuration package and press Y, and the installation is complete. So to install the YAML's utils package, you have to type install yum utils. So after we install the package, we have to enable the module stream. Then install page. We're gonna use the modules for 7.4. Now, after the installation of REMI 7.4 is done, we have to update the package to make sure we are using the latest REMI repository. Now, all we need to do is wait until the uh, updates are done, and then we can move to the next step. So next, we're going to set up SE Linux and firewall for NextCloud. So first thing first, you need to make a few configurations for SE Linux so that it can handle NextCloud without any problems. So all you need to do is just run this command. And last but not least, you have to restore same location. Now it's done. And last but not least, for this web server, we have to allow external users to access NextCloud from my server. So I need to open the web server port 80, and I'm gonna run this command. Reset to public. And don't forget to make it permanent. Last but not least, we have to reload the firewall. Now it's accessed and done. That's all for my part. Uh, that's uh, that's all for my parts in setting up web server for the project. Thank you.
We will now set up NextCloud through the web interface. Using the web browser, go to the IP address of our NextCloud server. First, we create an admin username and assign a password to it. Next, we will select our database for the database connector. In this virtual machine, we are using MySQL. Fill in the details of our MySQL database, including the user, the password, the database name, and the IP address plus port number for the database server. Lastly, we click Finish Setup to finalize the setup. Wait until the setup finishes and the website reloads to a login screen. Log in using your admin username and password. The website will take you to the dashboard indicating the NextCloud app is successfully installed. We will now demonstrate the NextCloud file saving feature. After logging in to the NextCloud instance, go to the folder where the files will be uploaded. Drag and drop multiple files into the web browser to upload the files. After uploading, you can preview and access the files that has been uploaded on the web browser itself. Next, we will demonstrate the SSH access from the external network. We will use PuTTY as the SSH client. Use the IP address of the firewall virtual machine with the port number 5000 that is the forwarded port for the web server. Log in using the username and password. The user can access and interact with the web server through the firewall. The database server can also be accessed using the same steps but using port 5001.